Today we're going to talk about passing wisdom before wealth and how to handle estate planning with your kids. Quite often I have conversations with planning clients and it comes up, they say, well, my parents, they have some money or they have a farm or they have a business, but I don't know what their estate plans are. What I wanted to share about today was just how important it is and why it's important to engage your kids on your estate planning decisions, the reasons behind those decisions, and even when it's appropriate or not to pass inheritance. So first off, it is paramount that we pass wisdom before wealth. The reality is, if you do have even a few $100,000 or a couple $1 million, that is a sizable amount of money to the person that did not create it for themselves. If you have a child that has done well for themselves and they've demonstrated they have a good handle on money, that's certainly one thing. There's some estate planning reasons you might leave it in a trust for them just to help them protect that money and make sure it winds up where you both want it to go. But if you do have a child that has demonstrated they're not very good with money, or maybe they have some other things in life that hold them back or demonstrate that they're just not very responsible in general, sometimes if you really think about it, the worst thing you might do to them is leave them a large sum of money. Money allows you to do things quicker and in bigger ways than normal. And there is a natural relationship with being able to earn money and being able to manage it responsibly and having a level of responsibility increased over time. What helps with being more responsible with money is wisdom. If you think about how over time you've had life experience, you have had situations that have taught you more about money, helped you learn skills that help you manage money better, maybe accumulate it better, save it better. A lot of that wisdom that's been built up along with the money doesn't necessarily transfer when the balance of that account does. And it's so important to make sure we're passing wisdom ahead of money so that when they get it, it doesn't crush them. The next aspect of communication with your kids as you're thinking through your estate planning is don't surprise them after you die with what you're doing with your money. One of the best principles I've picked up has been the idea of family harmony. One of the best ways you can promote family harmony is proper communication or communication at the right levels with your kids while you're still here and help them understand why you're making the decisions that you are. There's a situation where there's a couple that had done well. They'd sold a business. They had a little over $20 million and they had 3 kids. And each of those kids thought, the adult kids with families of their own, thought that they were going to get an equal share of this wealth that had been accumulated and realized over the course of the business transaction and investments after that. Parents called the kids together for a family meeting and said, hey, we just want to let you guys know that you each are going to get $500,000 when we pass away, and the rest of it is going to go to charity. And the kids were so surprised because they thought that they were going to get, $7-8 million a piece, which is a life-changing amount of money. So's $500,000, by the way. But at the same time, they felt like their own money had been taken from them. Mom, Dad, how can you give our money away? Well, the reality is it wasn't their money to start with, and the $500,000 they're going to get still a gift. But it did give them time to realize the disconnect in communication and also disconnect in passing wisdom and perspective onto their kids. It provided a great opportunity for them to correct that and to get it back on the right path. Now today they're, from what I've heard, they're all doing well and they are communicating well and everyone's on good terms. But it was a shock. They were really surprised, and it's better that happened while those parents were living. Otherwise it might have impacted their legacy with their kids of, wow, we really got not taken advantage of, but they'd feel very slighted, and it's very helpful for them to be able to have that conversation while they're still alive and able to pass the wisdom ahead of the wealth. Something else to think through when you're considering how to communicate with your kids is, are you setting them up for the proper perspective? Similar to that story, the kids had one perspective in mind. They wouldn't have considered, for whatever reason, that the parents were going to pass a large amount of their wealth onto charity and onto organizations that could do really well with their funds to do a lot of good in this world. But are you setting your kids up for the proper perspective with money? Is money something that, is it a lottery ticket someday when you do pass away? Is it their answer to happiness? Is it their perspective of how they're going to attain freedom and control over their finances at some point? If it's any of those things, I would encourage you to spend some time talking with your kids and helping them understand a proper view of money, that it is a tool. It's not the source of happiness. It's not the source of their personal freedom. And it's not what's going to make them successful somehow. But it is a gift that they're able to steward for their good, for their family's good, and for those around them to benefit and to live a fulfilling life with the proper tools and proper perspective. I'm Michael Proctor at Leading Edge Financial Planning, and we're here to champion you on passing wisdom before wealth. If this interests you, reach out at 316-768-7526 or visit our website. See you on the next video.